Hello everyone. Welcome to the Mechanical Engineering Program Overview. I'm Al Ferri. I'm a professor and the Associate Chair for Undergraduate Studies in the School of Mechanical Engineering at Georgia Tech. Here's a brief outline of what we'll be talking about. First, I'll tell you a few details about our program. Then we'll talk about mechanical engineering as a career. Then we'll talk about some of the interesting things that our students can do while they're here. And when we'll talk about our curriculum, the mechanical engineering program, talking about some of the courses, minors, concentrations, and some of the hands-on type classes that we offer. Finally, we'll talk about support to help you be successful here at Georgia Tech. Our program in mechanical engineering is really highly ranked. We've been ranked in the top 3 for the last 5 consecutive years by U.S. News and World Report. Our graduate program is likewise very well regarded. And in fact, all of the majors here in the College of Engineering are ranked in the top 5. I'd also like to say that we're very highly regarded by corporate recruiters and employers, and we are one of the best values in higher education as rated by PayScale Incorporated. Some data about our program. You see that we're a very large undergraduate program with about 1,800 undergraduates. We graduate about 500 bachelor's degrees per year. There's also a program in nuclear and radiological engineering which has about 80 students. As you can see, we have a lot of graduate students as well, reflecting how much research is going on here. You see some of the demographics. About 1/4 of our students are female. About half of them are in-state, with the rest being either out-of-state or international. With such a large program, it is extraordinary how well our students do. You see some of our retention and graduation rates listed here below, which are really very, very excellent. So let's talk about mechanical engineering as a career and as a field of study. Mechanical engineering is thought to be the broadest of all the engineering majors, and it gives you a really strong technical background, but it's not too specialized. And so our students go off and work in many, many different kinds of companies and in many industries. In fact, almost every company needs mechanical engineers to either make a product, design the product, or figure out how to manufacture that product. The pictures at the bottom of this slide show some of the domains in which our students work. So let's talk a little bit more about the industries that hire mechanical engineers. This slide shows really a wide range of industries that hire our students. You see they range from aerospace and defense to oil and gas exploration, power generation. We have many students who work in the energy area and in the food and pharmaceuticals. Just about any industry that makes a product needs a mechanical engineer. Another way of looking at the kind of work that mechanical engineers do is to look at the companies that actually hire our students. The first column here shows the top 12 employers, and top on the list is General Motors, reflecting the strong interest that our students have in automotive engineering and automotive design. But then you see that there are a number of aerospace companies on this list, like Boeing and SpaceX and Harris and Lockheed. You see oil and gas exploration represented in Shell and Exxon. You also see a variety of other companies. Accenture is a consulting company. Newell Brands is the parent company of Rubbermaid. Looking further at the additional top 40 employers, you see that there really are a wide range of companies reflecting not just the industries, but also the kind of work that students do. Our students go off and some of them work in very hands-on oriented industries. Others are doing more theoretical or design type work. Some of them are working closely with customers. Some of them are working more removed from customers. But I'd like to point out that regardless of what type of company, large or small, that our students go off and work, our students are all involved in making life better, making products better, continually improving either the accuracy of products, the price of products, the performance, the capability, the sustainability. So you're continually working on making processes and making products better and better and making life better for people. Some of the other details on this slide show where our students go off to work, where geographically, and the fact that the salary data shows that our students are getting jobs. About 75% of them have a job offer upon graduation, and the median salary currently is about $70,000 a year. So I'd like to take a couple minutes here and talk about some of the things that our students do while they're here at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech has some great opportunities for study abroad and international experience. One of the ways that students do that is through the programs that are taught by Georgia Tech faculty in English at some overseas location. We refer to that as study abroad. And probably the best example of that is Georgia Tech Lorraine, which is an actual campus that Georgia Tech has maintained for the past 25 years in the town of Metz, France. At Georgia Tech Lorraine, a student can take classes either fall, spring, or summer. The summer option is much more diverse and has opportunities for lots of different majors. In the fall and spring, a mechanical engineering student can take a lot of mechanical engineering classes. In fact, most of the junior level classes in our curriculum are offered at Georgia Tech Lorraine in the fall and the spring. We have lots of other study abroad opportunities. There's a China summer program, there's a summer program in Oxford, England, and of course we have a lot of language programs that go to various countries and give students a immersion experience in the language over the course of the summer. Georgia Tech also has a lot of partner relationships with institutions around the world. These are exchange programs, and students can go to these host universities and take classes. A lot of times they can take mechanical engineering classes at these host universities. At any given time, we have students in Germany, we have some students in Ireland and England, Spain, Singapore, and lots of other countries. And although foreign language skills in a lot of these different universities are helpful, they're not always essential because a lot of the instruction is actually done in English, especially for the engineering classes. We have a BSMS program, which is designed for students who want to stay on at Georgia Tech and get a master's degree in mechanical engineering. It's designed for high-achieving students with a GPA of 3.5 or higher, and the program allows the student with about 2 to 3 semesters of additional work beyond the bachelor's degree to get a master's degree. It makes it a little easier to do that by allowing 6 hours to be counted. Essentially 2 classes can be counted towards both your bachelor's and your master's degree. It also has some other features. For example, we waive the application fee and there's no GRE requirement. But it's a very good program for those students who want to continue on with their studies. And the picture here shows one of the students who graduated recently, Randy, and one of his other claims to fame is that he was the mascot Buzz. One of the great things you can do here at Georgia Tech is research, and there is a lot of research going on. Many mechanical engineering undergraduates choose to do undergraduate research by getting involved with a professor's research program. And there are several ways of doing that. A student can sign up for a course, a research course, And at the end of the semester, they get a letter grade, and you can count up to 6 hours of that undergraduate research towards your Bachelor of Science degree. Other students, a smaller number, but some students choose to get paid for the research. Another way of getting involved in undergraduate research is through the Vertically Integrated Projects program. And you can go to that website listed there, and you will see over 80 teams that are involved in different kinds of research. And there's really a wide spectrum of research going on there. What it is vertically integrated projects. A student will sign up, usually for multiple semesters, will join a team, and each semester they will participate in that research team, and they'll get a letter grade, and they can continue on with that for some time, gaining experience and moving up in their understanding, and ultimately able to help the younger students that join the VIP team later. At the bottom of this slide, you see some of the research areas that our faculty are involved in, but really you can get involved in research from any department and anywhere at Georgia Tech. Some of our undergraduate students choose to do undergraduate research in electrical or biomedical engineering or aerospace engineering, or whatever excites them and whatever they find interesting. Our students have a lot of opportunities to get work experience while they're still undergraduates. And that's because there are so many employers that come to campus on a regular basis to recruit our students. There are several ways of getting work experience. About a third of our students do it through the co-op program. The co-op program is where you rotate in alternate semesters between school and work. And you will go to a single company for 3 rotations. And the chart to the right shows that most students begin their co-op assignments somewhere between the summer of their first year or sometime in their second year. And that shows you sort of the layout of how you would alternate between work and school. The other way that our students get work experience is through internships, and about half of our students do that. And in an internship, you don't have to keep going back to the same company. You can go to one company and then maybe do a second internship with another industry or another company, depending on whatever type of experience you'd like to get. The internships and the co-op program, these are all paid internships generally, and it's a great way to not just earn some money while you were an undergraduate, but also to learn about the field of mechanical engineering, to learn about how things that are taught in the classroom are actually applied in the real world. And generally speaking, the students who go on work experiences of this sort, when they come back to campus, they're more motivated and they're more knowledgeable about why we're trying to teach them the things that we teach them in the classroom. A smaller number of our students will do work abroad, and that's a great opportunity that some students take advantage of, where they will spend a semester in Germany or in Spain actually working for a company that and for those types of assignments, usually language skills are fairly important. Our students really like doing hands-on activity, and Georgia Tech has some unparalleled maker spaces to help them with that. One of the best examples is the Flowers Invention Studio, which is right in one of the mechanical engineering buildings. And it's a really vast space with all kinds of tools like 3D printers and lathes and mills and laser cutters, even some woodworking tools. But it's much more than just the equipment that's available. It's also the people, because the Invention Studio is run by about 80 student volunteers. They're called prototype instructors. And any piece of equipment that a student wants to learn about, learn how to use it properly, these prototype instructors will help you to use the equipment. So this becomes a tremendous resource for students, whether they're just working on their own hobbies or whether they're doing a project for one of their courses. As I said, our students love to do hands-on things, and there are lots of ways of doing it. We've already talked about the Invention Studio, but there are a number of competition teams. These are teams that are involved with activities where they get to compete against other universities. These are open to the entire Georgia Tech community, not just mechanical engineers. In fact, one of the real beauties of working with one of these teams is that it is so multidisciplinary, and you get to work with sometimes with electrical engineers and computer scientists and so on. So you see some of the photographs there of our teams, uh, ranging from the Robo Jackets to some of our car teams like GT Motorsports and Rec Racing and High Tech Racing, and even GT Solar Racing. So that's a fully solar powered vehicle, which has, again, people involved from aerospace engineering and electrical and computer science. So it's a really a great opportunity for you to learn from the ground up about some of these technologies. I'd also point out the American Society of Mechanical Engineers, which is really a vibrant student group here on campus. And among the things that they do is they have weekly meetings where they bring in people from industry each week to talk about what mechanical engineers do in various companies. I also want to turn your attention to CreateX, which is a program that is designed to help students that are entrepreneurially minded, students who want to start their own company upon graduation. And the CreateX program gives them the tools and the knowledge that helps them to do that, to launch a company. Next, I'd like to talk to you about the mechanical engineering curriculum. We'll talk about some of the breadth and depth options that are available to you. And we'll also talk about some of the design experiences that are embedded in our curriculum. The mechanical engineering curriculum is highly flexible. It starts with foundational classes and with a core of mechanical engineering classes, and has one of the features of 12 hours of design and professional practice courses, which I'll talk about a little bit more. But one of the really key advantages of our program is that we have 15 hours, which is essentially 5 courses of free elective. And two possible things you can do with these free electives are to do a breadth option, which involves doing a minor or a certificate outside of mechanical engineering, or a depth option, which involves using your 15 hours of free electives to go deeper within some subject area within mechanical engineering. This slide shows our curriculum, and it's a little hard to read all of the writing. So if you go to this website here, you can bring up the most up-to-date copy of our advising sheet. The way it's arranged is that each box represents a course, and each row of boxes represents a semester. And this is laid out to show how our curriculum over 8 semesters, how that curriculum is arranged. I would point out a few things here. In the first 2 semesters, a lot of the courses there are common to all the engineering majors. The courses marked with a D are part of the design sequence. And these courses, in addition to having creativity and design, they also have a lot of hands-on experience. Very often they have teamwork components, There are communication skills that are tested there. So this design and professional practice STEM that cuts through the curriculum has lots of opportunities for students to really, exercise their creativity. The courses marked with an F, these are our free electives, and although they're all grouped here in the senior year, a lot of students choose to take these courses earlier than that, and it's really based on what makes sense for your particular objective. If you were trying to get a minor in a field like computer science, obviously you would want to start taking some computer science classes early on. So you would move some of these free electives up. Likewise, a lot of students are coming in these days with a lot of AP credit, IB credit, dual enrollment credit, etc. And so they come in with credit for a lot of these classes already. For example, chemistry, physics, calculus. And so some of those courses come in, students come in and they've already have them satisfied, and they can move up some of the other classes, move them up. So there is some flexibility here. The other thing I would mention is that if you look at the details of the course titles, you see why mechanical engineering is so broad. It has lots of courses that are in the mechanical domain, mechanisms, control theory, manufacturing, things like that. And then there are a lot of other courses that are in the energy and thermodynamics, fluids, and things like that. That breadth of knowledge that our students need is what sets them up for being able to work in just about any industry. The other thing I would mention here is that our students need to know things like electrical engineering, fundamentals of electrical circuits. They need to know about computing. They need to know about material science. And so if you think about modern products today that have all these different aspects to them, the design involves not just mechanisms, but also involves, intelligence, involves perception, actuation. And so our students need to know about a lot of things in order to design modern products, and they need to work with lots of different types of engineers, and so they need to be able to speak the language of other experts as they team up to design these different products and processes. The breadth option really involves getting minors or certificates in fields outside of mechanical engineering. We specifically planned our curriculum to have 15 hours of free elective because that is the amount of credit that it takes to get a minor in most other fields. And you see to the right here some of the areas that our students get our minors in. Actually, the most popular one for mechanical engineering students is industrial design, because our students are very interested in product development, and industrial design allows you to not just understand the functionality of new products, but also the form and the human factors involved in product design. So that is the most popular one. Computer science is also very popular. And believe it or not, if you add up all of the different languages that our students elect to do minors in, getting a minor in a foreign language is also very, very popular with our students. Some of the other things, some of the other topics are aerospace engineering and biomedical engineering. Aerospace engineering, for example, would make an excellent minor for somebody who was planning to work in the aerospace industry, as many of our students do. But there are really a wide range, something like 50 minors that you can consider. I mentioned the concentration areas before, and this slide shows you that we currently have 8 different concentration areas. Now these are optional, But students who want to learn more about certain topics within mechanical engineering can use the freedom of the 15 hours of free elective to go deeper into some of these areas. As I said, there are 8 of them, and the most popular right now are automation and robotics and automotive engineering. So it's a great way to personalize your undergraduate education and to maybe prepare yourself for a certain career path that you have in mind. There are a lot of opportunities for students to stretch their imagination and to be creative. And we like to give these experiences to students very early on in the curriculum. For example, at the freshman year, we have a class in computer-aided design where we use computer graphics packages to uh, design different parts, and they even use 3D printing to print some of those parts. At the sophomore level, we have a class that is called Creative Decisions in Design, and it's more than just design. The students work in teams and they build a contraption. You might call it a robot because it is really an autonomous system. It has an onboard computer, it has sensors and actuators, and the purpose of the device is to accomplish some task autonomously while the devices from the other teams are trying to either win more points than you or interfere with your operation. It really is a lot of fun. You see some pictures down in the lower left and the lower right showing the students actually engaged in the competition, and they um, they really get a really wonderful experience here. This becomes one of our signature classes in our curriculum, and it is a very elaborate class. It's a very expensive class for us to operate. But in the upper left-hand corner, you see a lot of the logos of companies who support and through their philanthropy allow us to really run this course because they believe very strongly in these experiences. They believe very strongly that the students that come out of this sort of course, they know more than just the design method. They also understand a lot of the 21st century skills that it takes to be successful in industry. Skills like teamwork and communication and leadership. And so a lot of companies really like to see the students that they recruit have had this experience. Part of the reason that our students are so successful, and if you recall back in one of the earlier slides talking about the 97% retention rate from first year students and our overall 6-year graduation rate of 92%, a lot of that is due to the fact that we have outstanding support for our students. One of the things I'll call your attention to in the upper left-hand corner is Shell tutoring. Shell Oil Company has allowed us by generous donations to supply free tutoring for all of our required lecture classes in mechanical engineering. So from 6 to 8 p.m. on Monday through Thursday night, a student can get help with any of the mechanical engineering lecture classes that they're having trouble with. But the Institute has a number of other options available for students to get help, ranging from one-on-one tutoring to peer-led study, of course, professor office hours, um, but just really a lot of different ways for students to get help learning the material and um, and to excel in the classroom. Um, our students put a lot of they're extremely intelligent students and they're very driven. Sometimes they put a little bit too much pressure on themselves, and so the support services that Georgia Tech offers include wellness support, coaching. We even have an embedded counselor within the School of Mechanical Engineering, so students can get advice and help for any of a variety of stress that they are experiencing. So this is something that Georgia Tech does extremely well and really helps our students to do well and to successfully graduate. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this presentation, learning a little bit about our program and learning about some of the things that our students are able to do inside the classroom and outside the classroom. If you have any other questions, please feel free to drop me a line at my email address, and I'll be happy to find an answer to your question and to get back with you.